Not quite sure if my audio was coming over, but we'll see. Well, welcome to the show. It's Straight Talk with Matt Hasley. We're been 4 year hiatus. I haven't been on for a while. We used to do a show, Straight Talk with Matt Hasley, years ago, but under a different network. And talking with a friend of mine who he does his own broadcast. We just got chatting, and he kept hitting me, "Why not come back? Why not do it again?" And I'm like, kind of thought about it for a while, and I mulled it over all winter long, and finally I just said, you know what the heck, let's do it. So like to mention our sponsor out there, Area 51 Coffee Company. It's area51coffeeco.com. Their phone number is 844-836-8326. They have two awesome roasts right now, extraterrestrial bean and DEFCON 1 high alert caffeine invasion. The extraterrestrial bean is a medium roast, and DEFCON 1 is, as you know it's a dark roast with a little bit of higher dose of caffeine. Keep you up all night, keep you ready, maybe keep you up all day when you're working. Give you that zoom in your step or whatever. They got sweatshirt mugs and more products coming soon. Really cool company. My show is going to cover topics like conspiracy theories, paranormal, UFOs, aliens, Men in Black, just a little bit of everything. I've had some of the best UFO hunters on, and I've had some of the best people on for conspiracy theories, talking about 9/11, Sandy Hook, all different types of topics, JFK. So I'm going to work and try to get more guests to come on, make it interesting for you, give you an hour worth of or more. Just try to make you think, try to make your skin crawl, do a little different stuff. But tonight we're talking about different things, kind of just an intro to the show, what we're going to do. Horror stories. We're going to talk about dumb criminals, and today's news. Not so much politics. I don't want to dabble in politics all, because it just gets so boring. Oh, I forgot to show. Hey, here's the two roasts for the coffee, and they're a nice cup. So if you're on and you feel like chatting, type something out. Let me know you're there. Today I got my second dose of the vaccine, and the reason why I'm would consider the first responder. I'm a reserve deputy, so they vaccinate all of us. So in case we come in contact with people, so just got my second dose. They tell me the first one kicked my butt. I tell you what, I was so sore. I had the Moderna vaccine, and then 28 days later, you get the second dose, and I tell you what, I felt like I got run over by a truck. And they say, oh, well, the second one's worse. I'm like, great, I'll probably be dead. So at least you'll get the broadcast out of the way. And if I don't make it through tomorrow, but no, my arm's sore right now already, and I'm waiting to see what it's going to be like tomorrow. Things I want to talk about right now. What they had a shooting in Atlanta, multiple shootings in Atlanta at massage parlor. I'm like, what the heck is going on? 8 people killed in Atlanta area massage parlor shootings. I mean, what the heck's going on there? You had 6 of them were Asians and 2 were white. There's been I guess a plethora, as you would call it, or overwhelming of Asian hate crime. And I was like, I'm like, what does that come from? I mean, I never knew of anything like that. I spent a year in Korea. Try to learn a language. I teach a Korean martial art, so I've been doing it for years, and I would never have thought anything like that. But it's been coming out in the news more and more every day, and I'm like, what brings it on? I mean, what is the hate there? So sad to see any hate crime. I don't care if it's what race it's against, but it's I don't understand. I think immediately, and I don't want to get into it because it's a bad debate getting in about gun control and all that. Everybody wants to sit there and talk about getting rid of all guns. It's going to stop the crime. Well, I've worked in multiple jails, and I also was a deputy sheriff down in Texas, and I've seen some of the weapons these guys make in jail, and they don't have guns. They're really ingenious to making weapons. If somebody wants to commit a crime, they're going to commit it, or if they want to kill somebody, they're going to do it. So the one sad thing is here locally, I grew up in an area, and I thought, it was a nice neighborhood. Didn't think anything about it. My dad still lives there. He's 87 years old, and I go by and I do his walks for him all the time and everything. And with all the snow we've had this winter, and we had a shooting death within like 10 blocks of his house of a 14-year-old kid during the day. I'm like, 14. I understand that's, at 14, when I was 14, it was totally different. 14, the street lights are on, you were home. Nowadays, it's totally different. These kids, I would say they're farther, I wouldn't say advanced, but there's more going on that they get into trouble for. At 14, I don't know how old I was. I got pulled over one time riding a bike, my buddy and I, and it was like 9 o'clock at night, And back then, you could ride a bike around. You could walk anywhere as a kid. Nowadays, you can't go. You can't do what you did as a kid. Like we rode in the back of trucks. We rode in the back of station wagon. There's no seatbelts. I mean, everybody waving at the trucks, trying to get somebody to honk the horn. We did everything. We rode in the back of pickup trucks, sitting on the bed. Trying to see what would what it would. Amazing. A lot of us didn't die doing that. Nowadays if you don't have a seatbelt on, oh my God, Well, nowadays these kids, they're cooped up. They can't go anywhere, and especially with coronavirus, everything has been where they're stuck at home. But these kids are starting to rebel. This area, it's called the Quad Cities. We have 4 major cities that come close to each other, and the population area around here is about 400,000 or 500,000 people if you count all the bedroom cities and everything like that. So you look at 400,000 people. Well, there's a lot for these kids that they can find out and get themselves in trouble. We've had a rash of auto thefts this year. Since January and February, they've had, it says the stolen cars are up by 156% from last year. They had 87 cars stolen in January and February. And you go, less than one a night. They had one, and it was before the New Year. They had a car dealership, and I won't mention the name of the car dealership, but they went in, broke in, grabbed their key fobs, went out, boop, boop, unlocked it, found which car they were, and drove 5 of them right off the lot. And proceed to probably play Plinko with them, or bumper cars, you want to call it. I mean, because they figure it's not their car. What do they care? And right now, and it always has been, most of the kids, when they get taken to juvenile hall or something like that, it's a little slap on the wrist, and the kids don't care. They figure, what the heck? You can't do anything to me. And that's the problem. we have to do is get it to where there is some punishment for it. And a lot of people go, well, the parents need to be responsible. Well, yes, they do. But the problem is some parents are working two jobs. They're working night shift. These kids are out running around at night. It's hard to keep track of them. And at 14 and 15, youngest kid I ever arrested was 12. I arrested a kid who was trying to steal a car, him and a couple of his buddies. And that was down in Texas. Well, you don't, I would never have thought of trying to steal something at 12. Earlier, I was saying I got pulled over for riding a bike, and it was like 2 blocks from my house, and I see this car driving no headlights on. I'm not going, what the heck is going on here? I just see it. My buddy like, hey, did you see that car? So we start riding a little faster because we're trying to get home. I'm trying to get to my house. I can see my house. It's straight ahead. So I start riding faster and faster, and all of a sudden you hear the car just stomp the gas, and it's coming at, we're like, oh my God, some psycho killer going to run us over. So we run through the stop sign. We didn't even stop, and the street kind of jogs to the right a little bit. Ran right through the stop sign. Car skidded through the stop sign too. And we're like, oh my God, he's going to kill us. So I pull in behind my mom and dad's car, and he skids past them. I'm like, oh my. I said, oh, thank God it's a cop. Thinking to myself. And he gets out and he yells at us. He goes, don't move. Another squad pulls up down the block, another one behind. And I'm like, what's going on? What do we do? So he goes, where do you live? I turn around, I go, right there. And he goes, oh, okay. And he says to my buddy, where you live? And my buddy told him. And so here comes my dad. Socks, corduroys, shirt hanging out, no shoes. And he walks out and he says, the officer, and he says, can I help you, officer? And the officer said, we had a report there was prowlers in the neighborhood, and we thought these 2 boys might be prowlers. He goes, nope, my son can't be a prowler. He's too slow. Turned and walked in the house. Left me there. I'm like, thanks for getting me out of that jam, Dad. I'm like going, what the heck? The officer turns to me and he says, I'll tell you what, son. He goes, you can go, because you got more trouble when you go inside that house than I'm ever going to give you. So, well, my dad never said a word to me when I went in. I was just like, wow, okay. That's weird. But I've got chewed out for many other things, or disciplined for many other things. It was funny. We had a conversation, and he says, well, you used to send us to our room, and it was like solitary. And he goes, what are you talking about? That's not that bad. I'm like, what do you mean? We don't have all these video games and TVs and, iPads and phones and everything they had. We got sent to our room. We stared out the window. You didn't have anything. Everything was all, books. And I don't think we got, I'm trying to remember when we got CDs. They were probably in the, probably the inventor of the cassette tape just passed away at 94. Talk about, had to be wealthy from inventing that. And he was one of the co-inventors of the CD. So I'm like, pretty impressive. Well, he just passed away at 94. And now everything is, downloads. You don't even get a CD or backup disc for your new computer you buy or anything like that. It's rare. It's generally downloaded onto a drive on your computer. So, well, but no, we've had all these rash of auto thefts, and people are coming up with, hey, what do we do to try to stop it? And the police aren't doing their job. The bad part about it is, they got people going around in the neighborhoods and they're trying doors and all like that. What do somebody calls in and say, hey, somebody's trying doors. There's not a lot you can do to somebody for trying a door. I mean, what do you charge them with? Now, if he broke into the car, that's different. If he stole the car or she stole the car, whoever, that's different. But to go up and just try a door handle, yes, it's a suspicious act. Get them out there. They call it field identification, take their name and everything like that. And most of them have probably been in trouble before. So they probably have warrants or something like that. But it's almost impossible for the police to be everywhere. They need help from us. So call it in. I always used to say, when in doubt, call it in. It's better to have them check it. Like my wife was on her way home. She told me, "Hey, I saw a guy that was like, you know, doubled over. He was kind of stumbling." I said, "Would you call it in?" She goes, "Well, no, I was." And I said, I picked up the phone immediately, called 911, told him what was going on, because you never know. He could have been hit by a car, could have been anything. Could be having a medical reaction, could be overdosing. It's just, I mean, I think it's part of our civic duty to call, to let people know, get somebody there to help him. Who knows? Might be somebody, could be your parent, your father, your mother, anybody, your family member. And if somebody, I would want somebody to call for my family member or call for me. One of my best friends, I mean, he was my golfing buddy. We were best friends. He had a heart condition or whatever. Well, he was trying doors to try to get help. He couldn't call on his phone, and he ended up passing away. They got EMS there, but it's too late. But I mean, that's the thing is you're hoping that somebody was going to help you. I mean, a lot of times people sit there and they look at it and like, I'm not getting involved. They don't want to get involved. It's a lot of people calling for Turiel stuff, but I mean, we've had a lot of shootings around here. That kid, 14 years old, being shot and killed, they didn't find him till the next day because he tried to hide. Apparently there were two vehicles that did a drive-by on him. So they got a program called Lock It Down QC. I'm talking about, if you go to your car and you're leaving and you pull into a convenience store, you're going to get gas, don't leave your keys in. Don't leave it running. I don't care if it's in your own garage. Don't leave your keys in it. Take your keys out. Make sure you shut your garage door. There's so many people that are going around neighborhoods looking for that stuff. And it's sad. It's really sad that people capitalize on, and I've had what do you call it? Where they call you and try to scam you out of the phone. I had one guy trying to tell me he was a deputy with the sheriff's department. And I said, he was telling me that I had a civil warrant and that a civil process that I needed to take care of. And I was like, okay, what is it? And he says, well, I said, and he didn't realize that I recognized his voice. He called me almost a year ago and told me he was somebody else, because I just recognized by the accent he had. And when he tried to deny it, and he goes, well, you sound like what do you work for a sheriff's department? And I said, yes, I do. And he goes, and I know you're lying. I said, because they don't serve or call you for civil warrants. They come serve you. I said, kind of like a felony warrant. They don't call you and go, bring, hey, by the way, you have a felony warrant for whatever. No, they do the knock, 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 come out with your hands up. They talk about trying to get rid of no-knock warrants. Well, I understand the reason why people want that. But sometimes it's essential. I hate to see law enforcement in all militarized up all the time. I would hate to see that all the time. But I'll tell you what, the way they're getting attacked now, they need it. They need to help. We had an officer here ambushed. Probably the only thing that saved his life was he was left-handed and his weapon deflected the round. But they had a shooting just the other day. It was in, I'm not exactly sure where it was at, where an officer, they immediately released a body cam, immediately released the dash cam. And what happened was that the officer was involved in a shooting where he had the lady out of the car. He kept trying to get her back. She kept trying to get back into the car, and finally, she had 2 warrants on her. He tried to taser. Apparently, I don't know if the taser didn't work, but then he took the taser prong and then put it right on her shoulder and tased her right up on the shoulder here. Well, when he did that, it's like the taser ran for so long and then it stopped. Well, when it stopped, she pulled a gun and shot him, and then he returned fire, and she drove away. He went down, called it for backup. Well, she apparently died later from her injuries. He was taken and had surgery, had a bullet lodged next to his spine. So, I mean, as an officer, you never know when it's going to happen. I think he did everything. I mean, I watched the video. I watched it multiple times, and I think he did everything he did was correct. If you ever wonder what it's like to be in a situation like that, where you'd have to do respond to somebody that pulls a weapon, or being what an officer has to go through. They have Milo training, what it's called, and what we called it shoot don't shoot training when I went through. They it's scenarios. It's on a like a big giant video board, video screen, and they can change the way it reacts. They can make them comply. They can make them pull a weapon. They can make them at night where you have to shine your flashlight to where it shows only where the flashlight is. It really puts a lot of stress on you. We had when I went through the academy in Texas, we went through the shoot don't shoot scenarios, they called it, and we were revolvers back then. So this tell you how long ago it was. Now everybody carries semi-automatics. Well, in the old revolver days, there were 3 of us going through the training. Where at one time, they had one go, and then 2 were watching. Then they trade off. Well, one of my friends, he gets up there, and there's 3 different targets. He had to fire at each target 2 times if they draw weapons. So he was getting really excited, and he ramped up, and he fired at the first guy 3 times, second guy 3 times. He's out of ammo. They go, okay, let me do it again. He says. So he starts over, fires at the first guy 4 times, second guy twice. Now he's out of ammo. And he's like, come on, let me do it one more time. He fires at the first guy 5 times, and the second guy went. And you don't, what happens is it's a video, but you don't realize how amped up you can get just in a video. I mean, you look at some of these kids playing video games, how into it they get playing video game. And I'm not saying it's a video game, but it's your emotions come out in it. Your adrenaline gets up in it. You feel the excitement in it. If you've ever been, I would love to see Live PD come back on. And everybody goes, why would you like to see Live PD? And I said, the reason why is because it actually shows, the only part it doesn't show is the officer writing reports, but it actually shows how an officer reacts through a whole situation than just, chase, take him down, handcuff him, switch to another car. A lot of times they show them all the way through. It actually humanizes police officers, sees them responding to different threats, see them. I watched one, and I got to give him credit. The hardest thing I ever had problems with as a law enforcement officer is watching anything happen to kids. I was there when they dug up a 7-year-old. That haunts me to this day. I've been first on the scene of fatalities. I was there when they pulled a young kid out of a car that had been just totaled, and tried to do CPR on the child, and there's no way. But I mean, that's a thing that scars. It's like PTSD in a different form. I guess not. It's post-traumatic stress disorder. Whether you get it from, being in the military, which I spent 3 years in the military. I was lucky enough not to have to go to combat or go to Afghanistan or Iraq or anything like that. I was out before that. But, I give all the credit in the world to people that had to. I've had friends of mine now that one of them, he just got deployed and he went over to Qatar. He was over there for a year. So I mean, I would, being in the military was great. Sometimes I wish I would have stayed in because I'd be way retired by now. My son, he's a lieutenant in the National Guard, and he just became a law enforcement officer. He's going to go to the academy here in May. Got to give him all the credit. And I tell you what, I pray that nothing happens to him. I think it's an excellent field of work. It's sad that people are, attacking everybody that's in law enforcement right now. But yeah, it's what can you do? They want to defund the police, and the problem is places where they have defunded the police, murder rate and crime rate has gone through the roof. I'm sorry, but they're going to commit crime if they have nobody there to stop it. They're going to commit more crime because they feel like hey, there's nobody around to stop them. We I like in law enforcement, you like to joke about a lot of things because that's the way you cope with things. And same way with the military. I try to deal with something. I had one friend of mine. He's a lieutenant here. We're talking about different things that you've had to deal with. And a real good friend of mine who's a detective here. I said, one of the things I had to do, I had to carry a severed head. And unless you've had to do that, you don't understand what it's like to deal with something like that. To be at the scene of when like I talk about it, a 7-year-old being dug up that was murdered by his stepdad. I still remember it to this day. I can smell it to this day. You see things in law enforcement and you have to deal with it. I'm getting back into it because I just feel that I have to do my part to help out. It's not going to be where I would be patrolling every night or anything like that. It would be where when they need me for certain events, like to search for somebody that's been missing. We've had one here, girl, just a gorgeous young girl that's been missing for so long. And I'm just like, I wish they could find her healthy, alive. I mean, you hear about all these child abduction stuff. It's sick to think people are like that. So it's one thing, you get that Amber Alerts and stuff like that. I haven't seen a lot of those go on lately, but I mean, that stuff is happening like that. So you have to do is think about helping out. Do what you can to help people. So, but I wanted to talk about, we're probably not going to do a full hour tonight because it's my inaugural show coming back from a 4-year hiatus. I didn't have as much time as I wanted to prepare for it. I wanted to talk about paranormal stuff. Well, I actually could. I've had some crazy paranormal stuff. I'm trying to get the video for my daughter. She sends it to me, and I have no idea what I did with it. I lost it somehow. But we have an apparition, and we've had multiple instances where we've seen apparitions. I've been pushed, shoved, touched, you name it, at work. And for a while there, I did almost a month where it was happening everywhere I went. I had it happen at where I teach Taekwondo. I had it happen at home. So I don't know what was going on. I had it all started back when we had the apparition happen. They'd say, "Well, go over and take a look at the security cam, see if you can find anything." And I come back with my eyes like bugged out, like, "What the heck did what happened?" And I said, "Well, did you find anything?" Yes. And I showed it to the people, and they're like, "Holy crap! You can actually see the apparition walking through." And it's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I will get that. I will share it on there. I will get other people. I want to hear other people's stories about paranormal stuff like that. It's, you think a lot of people think, "Oh, you're crazy." Well, my wife told me she thought I was having some type of brain aneurysm or something like that. I said, I don't lie about this stuff. I'm not going to make this stuff up. I was walking. I usually walk 4 miles a day, and I usually walk at where I teach Taekwondo on the hardwood floor. I like to walk barefoot because I like to do is toughen my feet up. So when you're out if you have no shoes on, you're out there, you get used to the pounding of your feet on it. So I was walking, and I just happened to see out of the corner of my eye somebody walking next to me. And I thought, we have a kickback that hangs from the ceiling, so I thought maybe it was it. Well, I glanced to my left, and it was gone. But I definitely saw it walking with me because I could see the old shape of the body out of the corner of my eye. And the kickback was still in front of me, so I hadn't got to it yet. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's weird." And I kind of, okay, maybe I just saw something. Well, the next time around, I went by, and there's the women's restroom has like a spring on it. Well, you can't prop it open yet, or you can, but you have to put something heavy there to hold it open. It won't stay open on its own. You can't just push the door open and leave it open. It shuts. By the spring pulls it shut. So I'm walking by, and the door is about 6 inches to 8 inches open all the way up. And I'm like, okay, that's weird and I'm looking in the dark of the door to see if I see anything. Kind of chills went up my spine like that. I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird. Went back around again, and the door was shut. I'm like, okay. Something opened the door, something closed the door. And so I'm walking along, and all of a sudden I got I got a radio going in the background. So, I'm listening to the radio, kind of trying to drown out the sounds and everything. And I hear somebody scream at the top of their lungs about 2 feet behind me. I spun around to look to see what it was, and nothing's there. I'm like, okay, that's a little creepy. So the next day I'm at work, and I'm sitting back, and I'm glancing down at my phone like most people you see, just like this. And I seen a black mass go across in front of me, across the room against the wall. Well, we had seen, and had stuff happen there before. So I'm like, okay, is it the normal, entity that's been out there or what? Because we hadn't seen it in a while. Well, so I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And the crazy one was, I'm sitting at my computer just like I am right now. I got a double monitors right in front of me. I got a big screen TV off here to my left. That's why you see me looking to my left, because the TV's big screen's on right now, and the double monitors. If somebody walks by, I'll see the top of their head, and I see them go into the laundry room. My laundry room's right over here. And I just seen the top of the head, and I go, "Oh, that's my wife." Walk into the laundry room. I got up, walked to go in the laundry room. Nobody's there. And I'm like, that's creepy. That's stuff that, just kind of bakes your brain. What happened? And it went on for quite a while, and I haven't seen it for a little bit. I don't know if this is going to bring it back now, but we had at the golf course where I work, where we were watching paranormal videos right before Halloween, just kind of creepy stuff to see. And it was like most haunted, or I don't know, whatever, haunted, actual evidence of hauntings and all this. And all of a sudden, I mean, it's like fall, so you don't normally see too many bugs at that time. it was cool. And next thing you know, there's bugs flying everywhere. I mean, these little, and we're like, what the heck is going on? I mean, it's like they're everywhere. So we got out the bug spray, knocked them all down, cleaned everything up, got everything all cleaned up. And I was like, going, that is weird. Well, I look over at the monitor, and the monitor is just, it's playing a video. Next thing you know, the video starts flashing on and off. I mean, it's like the monitor's going crazy. There's nothing on the monitor because we checked it. I mean, there's no bug on the monitor. And I mean, it was weird. And then it stopped. So I said, okay, the video is still playing. I said, all right, we're going to turn off the light. We turn off the light. Monitor starts going crazy. I videoed it. I'll have to get that video too because I have that somewhere. And I said to it, I was shooting the camera at the monitor, and I said, you could see the mouse cursor going like this, it's moving. And I said, all right, he wants to play, or they want to play a video. I said, play what video you want to watch. All of a sudden, it started playing, and the girl that was working for me jumped off the chair. She said, F that, and ran out the door. 2 weeks later, she quit. I don't know if it had anything to do with that, but it was kind of eerie. And what's wild is when she ran out the door, we went back to the closed circuit camera, and you could see an orb go whoop right out the door after her. So I don't know. That was just kind of eerie. We did a tour of Annie Wittenmeyer. Annie Wittenmeyer was all the 99 counties in Iowa, they sent all their orphans to this home. It's called Annie Wittenmeyer. And they were series of cottages that were connected with underground tunnels that went between each one. Well, there's stories of, way back, kids have died there. Supposedly it's on, heard rumors that it's on an Indian burial ground, blah, 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 But, I've talked to people that have worked there and stuff like that and heard things, seen things. So, the biggest thing that gets me is when you watch the big paranormal is they're looking for ghosts. And then when they find them, they freak out. I'm like, what do you expect? You're looking, unless it's doing something to you. I mean, I've had doors held shut on me. I've had, been touched, pushed. So I think it's real. And I had a buddy of mine who passed away just last September, and he died of COVID. Nice guy, great guy. But he told me he was going to come back and haunt me after he died. So I wouldn't doubt if he did it, because he was hilarious. I used to mess with him all the time. I used to call him my angry lawn gnome, because he was a shorter guy, but he was always mad about everything. He was always just griping about everything. Not nothing serious, but it was just always funny because we used to mess with him. But yeah, it's I miss the guy a lot. I've had two friends of mine pass away just recently that hung around the shop. They were older guys, great guys. But yeah, he told me he'd come back and haunt me. I said, I wish he'd come back and haunt me with the lottery number, that'd be nice. So I don't know if you can actually do that, but he always told me we always had an agreement that if either one of us hit, we were going to split it. So, but he always wanted a brand new Audi. That's what he wanted. He always wanted an Audi, and he was almost ready to buy one, and it would have been right before he passed away. But yeah, he great guy, Little Lloyd, we called him. But no, if anybody has any paranormal stories, share them with me. I love to hear them. Have you ever been on a ghost hunt? They're kind of creepy. I've been on multiple ghost hunts. We tried doing one at the golf course. Problem is, there's so many. We have so many coolers and everything out there that you just couldn't get it quiet enough to hear the voices. So I mean, we had them do a EVPs, electronic voice phenomena or whatever, but we weren't able to get anything like that because you weren't able to notice anything. But there's a lot of creepy places, all over. I mean, you could find them in just about every state. Every state has, their, what is it? Iowa has the Villisca House, where they axe murder. So they have in like Nebraska, they got the Museum of Shadows. My daughter was telling me about it. She goes, "Oh, we gotta go." Well, I enjoy going to that stuff. My wife doesn't. She's like freaked out about it. I don't want to go. But it's like horror movies. I'm not a real big horror movie fan, but some movies like The Right. Oh my God, The Right freaked me out. And I'm trying to think what was the other one. It was another one like that. There was like a series of them they went through, and it was Elaine Warren and her husband. I can't remember the names of the movie, but those are kind of creepy because they're based on a true story. So, I mean, I would hope that I don't have, a portal to hell in my house somewhere. I joked with my daughter. We rented one of those belt sanders and sanded the floor. And she had when they took up the carpet, there was like these black spots that were just stained on the hardwood floor. And I asked her, I said, well, we're going to sand off the portal to hell you made. And she laughed about it. But I mean, it was just like, I would hate to go in. It's like that creepy commercial where the guy goes up in his attic and he sees all the mannequins. Enjoy your home. No, I mean, if you ever gone into that situation and found that would kind of freak me out. Yeah. So we're going to talk about eventually. We'll talk about UFOs and everything like that. But remember, check out my sponsor, Area 51 coffeeco.com. So check them out. They got 2 great roasts. I guarantee you'll enjoy them. They are invading Earth 1 cup at a time. So beam up a cup for yourself. So it's been my 4-year hiatus. I'm back. Hey, what we're going to do is talk about all kinds of crazy things. So, but I do have a dumb criminal story I want to talk to you about right before we leave. I had to laugh. You sit there and the kids, they play Call of Duty. So people it goes, apparently this happened. It was a British escaped inmate busted after he went out to buy Call of Duty. He could not handle it. He was 36-year-old British man, eluded police for months after escaping from jail, but he wanted to go get that new Call of Duty, and now he's back in jail. And guess what? They don't have Call of Duty in jail. So he gets to play the real 3 hots and a cot. And, there's so many dumb criminal stories. They had one, they were talking about it on the news the other day, where a guy printed out a check on his computer, took the computer, bought $140,000 Porsche, but it was made out with his name and everything. So he goes there, buys a $140,000 Porsche, and tries to buy a couple of Rolexes. What and I don't know if he left his wallet or whatever, but I mean, they knew exactly where to go. I mean, how stupid is that? Let me see. I'll be over here, and I'm like, come on. That's not well, criminals aren't the smartest. I can tell you. I mean, I'm sure we always used to joke that prison or jail was a criminal's college, because that's where they get in there and go, okay, what'd you do? Oh, you did that? Oh, that was stupid. Oh, here, do this next time. And they talk with each other and learn different techniques. But printing out every printer has its own watermark anyway. People don't realize that. So every printer has some type of printing watermark. And we're going to talk about that in a conspiracy theory down the road a little bit. And a lot of people don't know that. So You do your send out your letter, and you think, okay, nobody can find out where it is. Well, they can. They can look on there, and not uh, it's not available to the human eye. They find it through computerized. So, but no, think about it. Quad Cities, lock it down, protect your car. We talked about all that. It's all through the news. Watch your kids. Don't think your kids are the best kids in the world. Protect your kids, because you don't want to get that call thinking, oh, my kid's a great kid. Oh, he's just hanging around. Oh, that's just the way they dress, or that's just them. And then all of a sudden they're going somewhere. Like my one son, he's older now, but he wanted to go New Year's Eve to a friend's house. I said, no, no, no. I said, they want to come here. That's fine. I said, you're not going there. I said, because I know he's going to want to drink. And I just said, no, put a kibosh to it. And I had, I won't drink because of my kids at that age. And one of the guys asked me, goes, so you put your life on hold because of your kids? I go, yeah. I feel that you have to. So, well, we've been 46 minutes tonight. I think that's enough for tonight. We're going to do is call it, remember, area51coffeeco.com, extraterrestrial bean, and DEFCON 1 high alert caffeine invasion. Log on there, sweatshirts, mugs, and more products coming soon. They got a phone number, 844-836-8326. So I'm glad to be back after my 4-year hiatus. You've been listening to Straight Talk, and we'll see you next Wednesday night, and hopefully every Wednesday night. Have a good night.